Okay, so today we're going to continue talking about what we did yesterday. So we're going to continue talking about place value. We're going to start here at 1. The ones place looks like one whole flat. So go ahead and color that in. It looks like one flat. If I'm talking about money, it looks like $1. One whole. I'm going to base everything else on this chart all around one whole. So this is kind of the center of my chart. This is the star of my chart. Okay? It all revolves around the 1. So if I want to go put 10 ones together, if I want to put 10 of these, I'm going to get this entire block. So this, we call this a cube. Okay, so this is a 10. So this is like a $10 bill. Okay, so if I get 10 of these together, it gives me a cube. Now if I go the other way around, if I split a cube up and I take 1/10 of it, I would get a flat. Now this doesn't really have the opportunity to have a place value. The decimal, it is just something that separates the wholes from the parts. So it doesn't really get its own value. So if I want to go this way and I want to break my flat up into tenths, so I'm going to take my flat and I'm going to break it into tenths. That means I have to break this into 10 parts, and I would get 1 rod. 1 rod. Okay, we call this a rod. Tenths. TH signifies it's on the decimal side. It's on the part side. So I'm going to break this up. A flat, I'm going to break it up into tenths. 10 of these, so if I go the other way, I need 10 of those. Okay, so if I break $1 into 10 parts, I get a dime. If I break $1 into 10 parts, I get a dime. So let's talk about hundredths. If I want to break this rod into 10 parts, I would get something that looks like this. So I wanted to take a tenth of it. So I wanted to break this rod into 10 parts, and I got this. So if I go the other direction and I take 10 of these, I put them together, I should get a rod. This is 1/10 of this. This is 10 times bigger than this. Kind of how they go back and forth. 1/10 or 10 times. So this is, we call this a unit. And in money, we call this a penny. So 10 pennies make up a dime, 10 dimes make up $1, $10 make up a $10 bill. 10 units make up a rod, 10 rods make up a flat, 10 flats make up a cube. So if I go the other way, a cube, if I cut it into tenths, I get a flat. If I cut a flat into tenths, I get a rod. I cut a rod into tenths, I get a unit. So I have one more here. If I cut it into tenths, I would get a thousandth. So I have to cut this into 10 parts, and I get just that teeny tiny little bitty spot. This does not have a place value block because I don't have any that small. It does not have any money because money we don't divide up any smaller than tenths. But this is if we were to put 10 of them. 10 thousandths make up a hundredths. 10 hundredths make up a tenth. 10 tenths make up a ones. 10 ones make up tens. All right, so we're going to practice some numbers. I'm going to say them, and you're going to put them into the place value spot. But I have to move my chart up a little bit so I have a spot to work. Let's make sure my camera's still staying. All right, so I'm going to look at the number 4 and 56 hundredths. 4 and 56 hundredths. Now, if I say the word and, it goes right here. 4 and 56 hundredths. I got the 4. 4 and 56 hundredths. I said 6 hundredths. That was the last thing I said. So the 6 has to go in the hundredth spot. Because I said 6 hundredths right next to each other, so 6 has to go into the hundredth spot. but I said 4 and 56 hundredths. So I'm going to fill in the 5. Okay, so I have to kind of work around what I'm talking about. So let's do the same thing. And what we just learned, whatever the last words, when I said 6 hundredths, the 6 has to go in the hundredth spot. Let's practice that. I'm going to say 13 and 5 hundredths. 13 and 5 hundredths. So I said and. I said 13 and. 13 and. The last thing I said was 5 hundredths. Hundredths, 5 hundredths. So the 5 has to go into the hundredth spot. Let me repeat what I said and see what I need to fill in. 13 and 5 hundredths. So that means I need to fill this in with a 0 because I didn't say any numbers in that place value. 13 and 5 hundredths. 1 cube, 5 flats, no dimes, no rods, 5 units. Okay, so let's try another one. 2 and 25 thousandths. 2 and 25 thousandths. I know I said and. 2 and 25 thousandths. So I said 2 and 25 thousandths. 5 was next to the thousandths. 2 and 25 thousandths. Now, I had a 20. Did I say, I said 25. So I have to make it look like this, 25. 2 and 25 thousandths. So that means I need to fill the empty spots with zeros. Okay, so how many times did I have to repeat that? Many. I did part by part. All right, let's try another one. 1 and 203 thousandths. 1 and 203 thousandths. And 1 and 203 thousandths. I said 3 thousandths. 3 thousandths. No, I said 1 and 203. 203. Okay, so let's talk about what each of these would look like, and then I'm going to give you a few for you to practice. So this would look like I had 4 of these flats. I had 5 of these tenths, or 6 of these units, or I had 4 dollar bills, 5 dimes, and 6 pennies. That's exactly what these look like. So each number that goes in the place value, that's how much you have of that block, or that's how much you have of that money. So I had 1 $10 bill, $3, I don't have any dimes, and I have 5 pennies. 2 flats, no rods, 2 units, and 5 of these little bitty bit thousandths. 1 and 203. All right, so I'm going to say 2 of them, and I need you to put them in the right spot. And when I check your video notes tomorrow, that's what I'm looking for. So here's my next one. So I'm going to give you 2 more, and you're going to put them in the right spot. 5 and 7 hundredths. 5 and 7 hundredths. 5 and 7 hundredths. All right. So the next one is, let's see if I can challenge you with this one. What if I have 35 hundredths? 35 hundredths. So you need to look at where I'm going to put that last number, 35 hundredths. 35 hundredths. So bring that to me tomorrow.